I was going to be pestering, hopefully.
I'll call her because...
He doesn't.
Okay, so what does this say? So you went out at 6:30 tonight, Brad. Wow.
I didn't even.
Did you have dinner?
Yeah.
I didn't even.
Yeah.
I didn't even leave work till Andover till 6.
I was coming back from Boston. I get home till 4:30. I didn't see that till 6. I said, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah.
Watch bad TV for 20 minutes so I can go see that.
More productive use.
So you noticed that you thought the smell was very, very low level, 1, 0, whatever, and you...
No, I was in their front yard, not their back. You know,
Okay.
the only place there was any significant, and frankly, my yard smells like that right now, too.
That's a report from Stephanie.
Okay. Can we go over that, or is that? Okay.
Yeah, you can do that on the board report.
All right. It's a little after 7. Bill's going to be late. I'd like to call the meeting of the Littleton Board of Health, November 10th, 2015, to order. First order of business, are there any board member reports? Ann?
Yes, I have a board member report. The flu clinic and the health fair went great. We vaccinated 99 people at the flu clinic, and we have 20 new contacts that are interested in CERT and MRC.
Anything else? John?
None.
Okay. Gino?
At the moment, no.
So I did go out to the Halloran property. We did have a complaint that came in today. It said it smelled badly for a couple days. They were concerned that leaves were being piled up behind 3 Colonial. So I went out there about a half an hour ago, actually, and there was a very, very, very faint odor of leaves in front of 3 Colonial. I went down to 19 Colonial. There was no odor there. I went over to Richard Way. There was no odor there. I actually went onto the property. Mr. Halloran's given me permission to do that. They have piled a bunch of leaves, not so much behind 3 Colonial, but down towards the corner behind 19 Colonial, the corner of Richard Way and Colonial on the property there. It smelled like leaves, like when you're raking leaves. They were dry leaves. They hadn't started decomposing yet. So I can see them smelling that. It's unusual they'd get it at 3 Colonial, but not along Richard Way or 19 Colonial or any other roads, any other houses along Colonial. But it was very faint on Colonial. Keep in mind, I was in the front, not the back. But even on Halloran's property, unless you were right in the middle of the leaves, there wasn't much odor. So they are starting to bring leaves on. I think the 2 periods where we're going to smell the most are in the fall and in the spring. Perhaps in the winter, if it warms up, because that's when most of the decomposition is going to take place. So we'll see what happens. So the only other business we have entered into the AG is basically filed papers with Taylor Street property. They had to give the owner notice. They couldn't deliver it to them. They had to give him a chance to fix it, and what I'd asked them to do, and they agreed, was to make sure that he showed that he had the financial resources to basically has to bring the property up to code. Failing to do that, they'll look for a receiver to take over the basically the repairs to that property.
What's the timeline for him to be able to demonstrate that?
I believe they give him like 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
So he doesn't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So now, if at any point he comes up with it during the process, he can take it over and do that. But you know, they were basically going to ask him if he could do it, and I said you really need to ask for him to demonstrate the financial ability to bring it up to code.
Right.
So,
Okay.
anything else? Do we have any minutes? No.
Let's see it.
Correspondence? We had copy of trauma, so we're a little bit light on this, so.
There's a correspondence list. It's just basically the standard, all the new food service permits renewed for the year. A lot of Title V's, a lot of certificates. It's been busy. A lot of animal bites. But I did want to mention that the next scheduled meeting is November 24th, which is the week of Thanksgiving. And sometimes there's an issue with having a quorum that night. So if the board wants to, and then also in December, the scheduled meetings again fall into that Christmas week. So if the board wants to look at not having a meeting on the 24th, there's nothing so far scheduled, and then doing the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of December instead of the 2nd and 4th, then you eliminate the holiday weeks by doing that.
I'm fine doing Thanksgiving week, that means I don't have to clean the house, but Christmas week is a little harder, so I'd vote for it earlier.
I get on with you.
Is everybody available for the first and,
It would
which,
be the 1st and
What are the
the...
dates?
1st and the 15th.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, so.
Yeah.
It looks like we've got.
You say November 15th?
December
December
1st and
1st.
December 15th.
Yeah, works for me.
Do we have any permits to sign, Shelley?
That's fine, thank you. That's better, actually.
We can do it at the end, too.
You got one, I think.
Septic survey report?
That I'm still working on. It's pretty much done. The next selectmen's meeting, I think, is the 16th, so I'll have something for you if they're looking for some kind of an update for that meeting.
The 16th? Mm-hmm. Okay. This board won't have a chance to review it before then, though.
No, I can send it out email. It's, I want to just go through, there just wasn't as many failed systems as I thought, so I wanted to go through some of the folders and just...
So if you go through them and shoot it out to folks before the 16th, if anybody has any concerns, we can put it off. Otherwise, I'm planning on being at that meeting anyway, so I can
Okay.
present it then. I may need to come in and visit you so you can explain it to me first. So.
Can I bring up something? I'm just curious. So if we go to the 1st and the 15th in December, and we have a meeting right before Thanksgiving, will we have any business to do by that 1st in December?
Well,
If
we wouldn't have
request
one the
that?
week of Thanksgiving. We would bypass the 24th,
Okay, bypass that.
yeah, and just
Okay.
have it the following week, which would be the 1st,
And then the 15th.
and then the 15th, and then in January, go back to the regular.
Right.
Oh, okay, I got it. I thought we were going to still meet in November.
Well, you can, but I can't be here that night.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm
You come all
happy.
by yourself.
I have to pick my son up at school.
Update on the community septic loan program?
Yes. So, all of the loans, we've gotten the betterment agreements, except for 61 King Street. And he has been waiting to hear back from RCAP, which is the ones that's processing the loans. And so I'll call her again tomorrow because I've had some issues with getting feedback from her and answers from her, and there's been some delays. We did run into an issue today on the 23 Fletcher one. They had started to put the system in, and then they came back and were saying it was going to be a couple $1,000s more. And so, I explained to them that it's not an open-ended loan, it's not the way it works, it's done by the contract that was signed, and so Jim was going to go and talk to that contractor, because he felt that where the issue was, he should have been aware of it in pricing the system based on the plan. He hit the old leaching field and was needing more gravel, and Jim said it was clear on the plan that they were working in the area of that leaching field. So that, I don't know how that will play out, but we can increase the betterment amount. The betterment amount is what it is. And so now I'm just trying to follow up and get these all done because the disbursements have to be done by December for the people to get all the money, and we have to be done by the end of the year. So we're near the tail end of that.
So we've got a couple that are down to the wire, it seems. Okay.
So how much money have we given out total?
So as of right now, 204,000, and there's 2 more loans that have to go through, which will come pretty close to that last 96,000. So it'll be pretty close to the 300,000. So there were 7 in total that were done.
Amazing how expensive it is.
And I would suggest never doing it again.
Too much work? Shelley and I had a conversation I should share with you. The tobacco regs, we had very little help from the Regional Tobacco Coalition folks. They never really, woman was sick, which is understandable, but they really didn't update them to the degree we asked. It really didn't match what we had discussed and told her. In the interim, the Attorney General's office has passed regulations on electronic cigarettes, vaping devices. Jim looked at it, I looked at it, they seem at least as good as ours. So what we discussed was I would take those regs, I would go through them, remove the references to the vaping devices, and make sure what we did discuss was still in there, and then bring them back to this board either December or January. If that makes sense.
Or even just
taking
saying
care of
all e-cigarette, vaping, et cetera, we defer to the state reg. Big
We don't
bang.
have to say that. It's already given, the
Applied.
state reg already applies. We can be
Okay.
more restrictive, but not less restrictive,
Okay.
so we don't really
even
need
have
to
to mention
reiterate
it.
that. So I think
Okay.
we can just delete it. I did have one question, so on the Halloran property, as they bring in more organic matter and it starts to decompose, that's when we're likely to experience odors, not during the summer when it's mostly decomposed and it's dry. So they are starting to bring it in from what I've seen today. What I've been doing is replying to the complainant's email, so we can associate our experiences with that. I haven't been, I've taken the complainant off of it, just because human nature being what it is, they're going to start responding back and forth, which we want to do. So we may want to consider an email saying, hey, we haven't gotten many complaints. Just know if you don't hear back from us, it doesn't mean we're doing it. We are compiling the board reports. So I don't think we want to get in the back and forth, and especially we're going to differ on our accounts. We're going to not necessarily agree with the complainant stuff. I think we need to have a more objective exchange on this.
I guess you lost me on how we're going to change how we
We're
follow
not
up.
changing it. This is how I've been doing it since the beginning, but I think is if and when complaints pick up. So, 41 Harwood, it's not in the thing, complains and sends a note with all their report.
Okay.
What I've been doing is I've been replying to those reports, but taking the complainant off the email.
Oh, I see. In the
So it
email
only goes to the
list.
board, Shelley and Jim.
Got it, okay.
And I'd suggest that may be the way we want to continue this, just to, because we'll have all the reports and we can compile them, but I don't want to get in a
Right,
back
they
and
don't need to
forth
be in the
on-
loop
Right.
of all that.
Though, we
Okay,
at some point
got
may
it.
want to shoot them an email and say, look, just because they may say, well, I sent this email, I never heard
Yeah.
back, it struck me today, then
Yeah, they could.
they may think we're not responding. So maybe you could just shoot an email and say, hey, we've been out, we've been responding to these complaints, we're not seeing people, we're compiling a report.
Yep.
So,
Or even, like, you're going to go out, you could just hit reply to the complaint and say, you're going to go out.
I wouldn't, because if they reply back and it's got 3 members on it, then it just, you get into
Okay.
open meeting law.
But, well, I mean,
I'd rather
you
they just know
reply
that
them.
we're going to go out as best we can, but we're not going to reply to them on every complaint.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you could let them know, however, that we are, even though they don't hear from us, we are responding and checking it out, that would be helpful. Okay, that's good timing. It's 7:15, so we can open the hearing for 61 King Street. Is anybody here from Civil Solutions?
Hi, Kevin.
So we're a little bit short on copies tonight. I don't know if you have
I
any.
brought
of these. Okay,
I
great.
brought a full size.
All right.
I'm Kevin Ritchie from Civil Solutions, here with Mike Reynolds. He's the owner of 61 King Street. He was in, I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, with a similar plan. He's got an 8-room house there. It was previously permitted as 2 bedrooms. We designed it for 3 with some variances. The board basically requested that it be redesigned, fully compliant with Title V as a 3-bedroom. So we're back tonight with a new design. It's designed for 3 bedrooms. It's got the reserve, the primary. We've moved things around so that everything fits in there. The only thing we need is one variance from the local regulations. We've got fill within 10 feet of the lot line, so regulation 27.
What's your requisite offset from the slab? You still need that?
Nope, we don't need that any longer.
Okay,
Yep, so the only one we need is just the
Okay.
fill within 10 feet of the lot line.
Okay, Jim has looked at this and basically said, I'll just read it. Based on soil testing conducted, I believe the leaching area on this site is in failure. The applicant has a plan drawn for a replacement sewage disposal system, and he requested a variance to the Littleton Board of Health Regulation to allow for its installation. This is the 10 foot. The area of the backyard is minimal, and the fill for the system will get close to the property line. The assessors records indicate the house is a 2-bedroom dwelling, but in an attempt to bring the house into full compliance with Title V, the applicant has designed the proposed system for a 3-bedroom house. I don't have a problem with the variance request, as the design meets full compliance with Title V, and the fill should not affect the abutter.
I think it's good enough for me.
Any discussion?
None for me.
And, Bill,
Nope, it looks good.
have a motion?
Motion. Motion to allow the variance for the, under regulation 25, on the feet of property line.
Going to reference a plan, just for the record.
So we've got a new plan.
The variance.
Yep. I don't know, there's no date on this one, but
You got a stamp on that thing there?
there is, but it's not the most updated.
No, I didn't stamp that one. I thought about it too, because I
Hey.
knew you'd ask.
You know me, I look everything. I
got sidetracked.
I just made a motion in your favor. That's not right.
I'll send you a new one with 2 stamps on it if
Okay.
you want.
Yeah.
I have a stamp.
Don't make that gentleman look bad now.
Oh, you're making me look bad. I gotta come back. He
No, you
doesn't
don't.
want to come back again.
I have 10/21 as the last revision.
1021 is the latest one on here.
All right. You lucked out.
date. See, I got a stamped one.
I know, I see it. Next time.
So, motion, and it's second.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Have a nice holiday.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas, oh, my holiday.
All the holidays are coming now.
Right, yeah.
All right,
Good to
we
see you,
have,
Kevin.
Yeah, same here. Thank you.
You'll call.
Yeah, I'll call her in the morning.
And I'll be up at that.
Okay.
so we do have a little bit of time before 7:30 in lot
Here, we can
13.
sign that one.
So we did get the easements correct, Shelley? We got all the easement that we need except for, I didn't see a letter from the abutter for any easement. Did we get it in our packets? That's all we have, right?
So I think we should wait to the hearing to discuss that.
But that's correct, right? We just have the easements.
There is an issue, we'll discuss.
Okay.
Here's,
Okay,
Are you the abutter?
all right.
I'm a butter of one of the properties. I don't know which lot is which, to be honest with you, so I apologize.
144?
I'm 183 Harvard Road,
Okay.
so I don't know which, if I'm lot 10 or 12. So,
We'll figure it out
let me
at
go
this time.
grab the assessor maps because
Okay.
it changes. This is a full size.
Let's do the full size map.
Yeah.
I have not reviewed what we dropped.
Just for you to
Yeah.
realize what people are wrestling with
Yeah,
and all the different issues that have come up, come and gone. Some are still there, and kind of where most people
Good
are sort of
183.
going, which
Yeah.
who's
I don't know if I can
the statement anyway, but it's kind of a good,
Yeah,
I would just read the abstracts.
yeah,
I mean,
okay.
it's just, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just, and then they have highlighted points of what
I know they did approve
most people,
lots.
what a lot
Yeah,
of
they did.
health
12
organizations are
is
doing,
all
and so it's just kind of,
Yeah, no, that's
just
good.
for your review.
No, that's good.
You guys
Good
looking?
stuff. Oh, the American Pediatric Association came up with sort of a profile, sort of a, I don't know, a summary of their stance on e-cigarettes and what they would like FDA to do based on different things.
So I had brought it to my attention and dropped it off, and
Because we had talked about it a few months
Yeah.
ago.
And now, and just now that football's finally over, so it's down just a little bit.
Okay.
Son stopped is done with football.
Yes, it finally finished.
Okay, so
Is
one,
that on Saturdays?
Saturdays, Sundays, and then during the week,
so
2 to
this
3
is
days.
you.
So it is finally over. I miss it already, but it is nice.
10, 12?
He'll start up basketball soon, but I am not involved in that,
This place is
except just the shuttle.
they've changed these a lot so many times.
Hello, good evening.
Hello?
This is my full-size copies for
Okay,
stamp.
for Jim.
Yeah, for your approval.
We have to wait till 7:30 to start, so.
Right.
Something we could talk about until then would be, do we want to do staff Christmas cards or gifts or anything?
Sure.
So
Do we want
this
to?
is,
Fine with that.
We could talk about it? I'm just bringing it up.
What would you like?
Well, I don't know. I just want to bring it up. I don't have to do it every year. I mean, I don't have to do it
so
this year.
you're here.
I don't have to do it, but I'm
You
just
go
saying.
back to
It's
here.
something we could talk about.
This
since
is
we're not
lot
gonna eat.
13. This piece has gotten broken into two,
Cards, do we want to?
and it kind of goes
What is typically
like,
done? So I'll say.
Well, we don't have typical, but the past
kind
4
of
or
like
5
this
years,
now.
pretty much.
So,
So typically,
Typically.
Define typically.
cut to card of
I know, from
card.
your standpoint as a scientist. Okay, so
It looks like
typically,
right here in your
I go out
backyard.
and I buy a couple cards,
And
and
then,
then I buy a couple, I make some candy.
you're not
put
the
it in
ones
a
that
bag,
signed the easement
box.
though, right? That was 181.
Buy a couple things,
Okay.
like
So that
Jim
was
likes history, so
then.
I buy him like
And there,
different
this
history
easement
things.
is kind of,
It's kind of like a little.
It was just
Yeah.
little
so
things.
my suggestion, just to make
So-
it easy,
so
and.
this
like
part of
a
it though.
Card and maybe a gift card that we all chip in.
My
You want to
wife,
make it more personal, I'm fine with that too, but.
my wife,
Fruit basket.
so
that would
my
be
wife
good.
makes, and near as I can tell, enjoys making.
Because it's very hard
A
to
lot
figure out,
fudge.
like, we don't even
And
I
know.
only got to see it for the 13 lot, just,
So,
Yeah, apparently the.
That's it?
because
That's a design, that's what we have?
We have this, we have a copy of the easement,
I'm like, hey, can we get, you know, 'cause she'll do it
and
for
we have this design with
Kids'
And
where's the
now,
mud.
yeah,
Other
and then after
people,
this,
neighbors,
Jim is
so
giving
she
us
makes
any
them in
direction?
small loaf containers, larger
Well,
pans.
Jim got
Okay.
this
Or
stuff.
whatever.
late.
I don't have it.
So this is what we have from Jim. What I've
Yep.
heard is, okay, they've
That's all?
got.
That's all we
You
got
know,
from Jim?
just let me know how much.
No, because Jim didn't get all the plans on
She
it.
make
What we
it-
have here is the easement's
might be
supposed to be
easier
3 to
to
1.
read.
Jim's saying it doesn't look like it is, and we have nothing.
Are we gonna have to have him down?
So we're gonna have to ask.
Otherwise, they have to come back. You know, I had to make him come back.
Shelley and Jim. Just the
Okay.
two. Do you
I'm
wanna-
sorry, what did we decide?
Bill's gonna take
Bill's
up
gonna
the,
spearhead it.
Bill's gonna do it this year.
Okay.
Kind
But
of
I'll-
spearhead it
I'll-
and figure out what.
I'll talk to my wife and get some.
So, and I make almond roca, I usually put that in, and Shelley likes.
I'll just give extra money because there's nothing I make she wants.
And
I don't know, your campfire hard-boiled egg was a hit.
campfire hard boiled
I thought it was a hit anyway. I
Egg
thought
on a
it was
stick,
cool.
basically.
Egg on a stick. I thought it was cool.
egg on a stick.
They explode about 50% of the
Yeah,
time, so.
but when it's done right, it's done right.
But I do like your idea of fruit baskets, those are kind of nice. And you know what's good, those edible,
Right.
little creations are good.
Yep.
What's that name? Can I ask you a question?
So whatever, maybe we can all pitch
Is
in
this the one
something
that's right behind me?
and have too.
Gina, did you bring your notary stamp?
Yeah,
All right. Come on up, Helen.
want it now?
Yes.
Lot 13.
All right.
You're a Rotary, Gino?
Yeah.
Don't let anybody do that, huh?
Sign my life away yet?
Not yet. Michael was one of the juniors.
Notary.
No, it's not gonna be
You know, I started thinking to myself, I said, did I sign everything?
Well, I was trying to get everybody else's signatures before I had you come in because, okay, so you're gonna sign here.
Okay. Did I put down the total figure?
So what, I'll tell you what I have.
Oh, sorry, I took your seat. I'll move over one so you can.
And then just gonna have you, this is the exact same thing,
Okay.
but we had one that they didn't accept, so I just like to do two of these. And then just right here.
We already started working on it.
So what I did, so she sent me, she said this was the system, and then this was what you wanted to be reimbursed. I added
amazing.
1,000.
No, it's 36,000.
Okay, well,
Yes,
it's,
they are.
And then I paid for the,
I've not been able to take advantage.
septic design.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
okay, and so then.
Yeah, they made you like, where'd the snow go?
Plan done, so I don't think it's as much as 1,000, but I added that in, just because if the betterment amount is more, it's okay.
Okay.
because When
It was
it's all
nice.
said and done, the only thing that you're
As
actually.
we went farther in the playoffs this year,
What the actual amount
Okay.
was,
We're
but we're better off
practicing
to
at
have a little
night.
buffer.
Now, this
It's not
here,
freezing
It's
cold.
gonna go to you.
It was been,
To me.
it was not
Yep.
wet.
Okay.
It was like,
And then,
thank
if
goodness.
Russ or whoever does your as-built,
So I was happy
he
that
can
the weather's
either
been
send us the
delayed.
bill.
Now I'm ready for
or,
winterish.
if you pay it, then we
Yep.
reimburse you, but this will go to
Okay.
you.
It's
This
like
will
I
go
said,
to the installer, or whatever his.
Right,
Yep.
well, that's, you know, that's
Kind
why I
of
didn't
buffer it a
like,
little.
Yep.
one of many reasons I didn't
Whatever,
like.
whoever your engineer does that.
Because it didn't snow.
So the
It was just
total
cold
that I
and
put
gray.
on the
And if it's not gonna snow, then why not just be 8?
Dug as far as you
I'm
want
with
to.
you on that, absolutely.
Shovel
cold and
Yeah, yeah.
That's why Albuquerque was the best. Albuquerque gets snow. The 3 years we lived there, I never owned a
Okay.
snow shovel, but it snowed. It snowed about 20 inches a year, 15 inches a year, and
Okay.
it's gone within a couple hours.
And you can drive up your mountain ski.
If you're a skier, you're
Okay.
a half-hour drive.
So,
and they'll go
Ski.
on
Is it
each.
Breckenridge?
each
Tax
tax
bill.
bill, yep.
No, Breckenridge is up in
Okay.
Colorado.
So,
No,
I'll
there's
get this
Angel
recorded
Fire
tomorrow, and then,
House.
I'll just need to get an
Houses there.
invoice
Tonight.
from
before
trying to remember
the
the
Yep.
installer.
You know, it's
so
a
I
place
can-
where you go skiing in
Okay.
the morning.
Okay, and then
golf
I'll
in
get
the
that
afternoon,
to you.
Thank you very
All
much.
right,
Thank
you're
you, thank you,
welcome.
thank you.
Or go hiking all year long.
Doing that?
I can't wait to retire.
Yeah,
She sign it?
yeah.
Loved it, huh?
Yeah,
I need
oh yeah,
John
we'll
to
go
sign
back.
this, too.
That generally.
She's supposed to show me license and
Southwest is beautiful.
Hey, where's your jump situation?
I've pretty much stopped. I've been staying, I've got actually just up to my neck and stuff, and so it's been better.
I just need John to sign here.
Was that thing? I stopped by.
Yeah.
I stopped by and the offices were closed and I kept forgetting to email.
That's okay, I was waiting for her signature, so I, it's two of the same exact thing. One of them got,
Who sounds here?
the treasurer.
Okay,
That'll
so-
be tomorrow. So John just needs to sign on the bottom there.
These two?
If this, I've looked at this one, and I've looked at, I'll say this right here, what you guys do.
We want that.
So, yeah, I've seen all the stones, I've seen all this.
So how's the Farm Bureau these days?
It's going on.
So,
Anything exciting?
Never.
yeah, I just came.
We got a ballot initiative from the humane people that's driving.
I don't know about
So,
All you know, dear property.
I know.
a lot more money than we do on this one.
Oh, really? Once the special interest group gets
Humane
involved.
Society,
I wasn't sure if you were looking to.
Gonna raise your price of the eggs by double, but.
Is it? Yeah.
Buffer zone, just to,
Oh, we have puppies coming.
read for this.
Oh, you do?
Our female
Field?
is pregnant. Great Pyrenees.
Yeah.
Yep, HAM.
My wife breeds and shows them in our female
I was wondering.
breeding, and
Never
think-
heard of it before, you?
I think next week, not this
There's a
weekend,
legend
the following
in this town,
weekend.
Gino.
And then is the what? The lane, seven?
Mm-hmm.
You know how many are in the litter?
So they did an ultrasound anywhere, looks like 2 to 3 to 4, which is a typical size. So I think they're guessing, because the last time we did a litter wasn't this dog, but the last time she had a breeding,
But it is
we were in Missouri, and the vet said, yeah, it looks like it's probably 3 to 4. They were 10.
that's what happens when you
Holy
plant
smokes.
it.
Eight.
There are 10 of them. You're gonna
Well-
sell them, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, 2 were, unfortunately, she was in labor so long, that one was in labor so long, the last 2 were stillborns, but we had 8. One went to the breeder, to the owner of the stud. We kept 1, got rid of the other 6. So this one, as I say, as long as there's more than 2.
You ever
One can
remember?
go to the stud owner.
Oh, you're welcome.
keep one. And any more after that, we sell.
I have.
Let me know when you guys are done, and we'll start.
Her and my wife, my daughter are very, very excited.
I have a big pond behind an acre.
I'll have just had my shoulder surgery. I'm less than 10.
Of course, too.
Well, that's an excuse not to do that.
There's not a darn thing I can do, man. I'm gonna be in a sling. Can't help. Love to help.
When's your surgery, next week then?
Monday, next Monday. I scheduled it when I knew
Documents, you know, you can tell me that.
It's a better
You know, when the champ gets
Sign over here, honey.
just in case we made it that far.
Keeps calling me honey.
He calls everybody honey.
Okay.
Don't forget your license, okay?
I won't.
It's torn rotator,
Fine
bone
old Italian
spur,
gentleman.
and frayed
Now,
ligament.
don't take that home with
So,
you.
the triple crown. It's got
Not me. Hey, thanks again.
Okay, bye-bye.
years ago. You know, this started about 4 or 5 years ago. It was
I'll let you know.
actually
You can
falling,
see things.
fell on some rocks
We'll have
up
another
in New
little
Hampshire.
break
when
after.
my
Yeah, we
son
can wait.
Yeah,
kid
as long as you got all
Go ahead,
that.
let's work on that one later.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to, the hearing to order for Lot 13, Chestnut. Would you like to come up, please? We've got some questions on this. It's informal, so if you still have questions, come on up.
Yeah, sure. I'm Kanal Lala. Good evening to all.
Good evening. Will you sign in?
Oh, no.
You can do it after.
As long as you do it before you leave.
Yes. So we are here with the requirements you had asked us in last meeting, which was basically the easement from Lot 10B and also Lot 12, because Lot 12 is giving us the easement for the driveway. So we have both the easements recorded, and we submitted the copies.
Do we have a letter from the abutter granting the easement?
Yeah, we have signed easement.
So you have the letter, the easement,
Yeah.
and record easement document?
Yeah.
Showing the easement as being
In
recorded
the-
on both property, right?
There was one question that came up as part of the easement.
Yeah.
Number 6 says the grantee shall ensure the slope of the easement area shall have a 3-to-1 grade.
Okay.
Can you show
Yeah.
that, where it shows that? Because Jim actually questioned that. whether you-
Yeah, the issue is, we are showing a 4-foot wall. This is a 4-foot wall. If you can see on
Right
this
on the
big
lot 13, right?
You can point it out, because it's not clear to me that
Yeah.
Jim did question that.
Yeah, this is what we agreed on the easement, that we are building this
The wall.
4-foot wall.
Yeah.
And then we are doing 1-to-1 slope
Okay.
for riprap. So in this easement area,
Yes.
we are not using all of the area we took from them. We are keeping it 10 feet away. And now this is not breakout zone.
Okay.
As you said,
Yeah.
in breakout zone, we can do whatever we want.
I understand.
We need not. So if I bury this wall by putting a 1-to-3 slope in that easement area, by giving them more fill,
Yes, but you still have to fill a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it will not disturb this plan.
Right.
This will stay the way it is. The grades will be same,
Right.
but from here to the property line
Okay.
will fill.
Okay.
We have a lot of fill available. And
Well,
we'll
they
fill.
can show it too, Jim.
Yeah, we'll fill all this with and what we'll do, once we got this approval, we'll redo this much piece of plan as a separate issue
Okay.
for Lot B, on
Okay.
behalf of Lot B,
Okay,
that they want to fill this area.
okay.
So what we really need to see is the rise over run. We need to see a 3-to-1 rise over run,
Yeah, that is,
but we need to
We
see
need to see
that.
it on the plan.
We don't see it on
I
the
don't see it.
plan.
We don't see it here.
Change in elevation from here to the left.
there's a 4-foot high wall.
Right.
And
What's
for,
the change between that 4-foot one and the lot line?
The-
Change in elevation,
the change in elevation,
right?
it's about, let's see, since this is 0, because this goes and matches this existing grade, 2, 4, so this is 4 foot tall here, when it becomes 4 foot to 0. So there'll be 0 fill here, and there'll be a 12-foot fill. So this area will fill in their lot.
Okay, you haven't answered his question.
I know, you haven't answered my
You-
question.
So can you trace out the easement area here, please? Show us the easement area.
Yeah, see, the easement is this long. See, this is the property line. This is lot 13 property line.
It's right here. Yeah.
And this is lot 12 property line and lot 10B property. So all this is easement.
Okay. So what we need to see is the
Yeah.
slope of that area after you fill it.
Nothing is gonna change here. This is gonna stay the way it is. We're
What is-
not changing.
Then what is the slope of that area?
This slope is 1 to 1. It is less than 1 to 1, 1 to 1.2. So that it's not 45-degree angle, it's less than 40, but it is higher than 1 to 3.
This
So
diagram
this-
might help.
This is not going to change. This is what
Is this
we have
helpful?
agreed.
This is better. Show us on this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 3 to 1.
Yeah, this is the section. So this is the section of the fill. And what we'll do, see, this is the 4-foot toe wall. So we'll go and fill this little area for them.
That's what I do.
Nothing is changing here.
But your
But we
plan
need to
doesn't
see the
show
plan to
that.
show that you're gonna fill that
Yeah.
to the slope indicated in the easement.
To comply with Title 5, it needs to be
No, that
3
has
to
nothing
1.
What do you do with Title
The
5?
easement, 3 to 1.
No, but that's nothing to do with the Title 5.
Right.
No, it's in the easement,
Right.
not the Title 5. It's in the easement,
The
though.
easement.
Item 6 of the easement shows grantee shall ensure the slope of the easement shall have an area, shall have a 3 to 1 grade.
Okay.
And I don't see anything on
We-
your plan that
we
shows
have-
that.
We have agreed to them to do that only after we get your approval for our lot 13 as drawn. That is also, it says in this,
Show me where it says that you get our approval before you do that.
here. It says here, grantee shall defend, hold harmless. Where's the top 1 to 5? Okay, these are my pages, they are also copies. Not in the same order.
I have to say, I'm uncomfortable, you could easily show on the plan that you're gonna fill this to meet the requirements of the easement,
Yeah,
which
but
you haven't
I-
done.
I don't think that is part of the, no, this is not my copy.
Well, you have a plan that's gonna show us the slope and how you're gonna manage this property to ensure runoff and to make sure you're in compliance with Title V and the easement, and I think you're missing a part of your
There's
plan.
a page missing in this.
And you must have a copy with you, right?
This is not my copy. My copy is here. Okay, so 1 to 5. Grantee shall improve the easement area in accordance with local and state septic system regulations. So that is what
Okay,
you have-
that's,
we
but
have.
nowhere, but we would like to see the
On the
plan to
drawing.
show the proper slope on that.
On a drone. You got it here.
So,
Even though you're saying it's gonna be done, it's gotta be shown.
but that has
I have
nothing
nothing to do, I understand that. But they
this-
don't understand that. Because you say you're gonna take care of it, but we wanna see it.
So your plan should indicate everything you're gonna do, including complying with the easement.
That's fine, I mean, I can modify. this
Modify
by-
that, yeah.
By putting this fill
Yeah.
line here.
Well, what we need to show is a plan that we're approving a plan today, and we want to make sure that the plan is in accordance with both Title V and the easement that's been granted you on this. And right now, your plan doesn't show that.
We don't wanna give you
I-
our
I
time.
don't know how to explain.
You have to have a plan that
What's the
shows you're
difference in
going
the elevation from where the wall is?
See, the thing
The
is,
other end of the fill area, that's all we need to know.
So, see, this plan here, for instance, we need this coming in with you written up, not with you stenciling it on here in front of us that you're going to do this. The plan should indicate the fill.
but that is only in 10B lot, and it is for them to hide that wall. First, we're gonna build exactly as per this plan.
That's what
Not
you,
gonna build something different. Then 10B will come to you, that we have this little area in front of the wall.
What is this
where
easement
we
on?
want
So
to
it's-
put the fill.
Is the easement on lot 10B?
Yeah. Easement is on lot 10B. So 10B can come to you, they say, can I fill my back lot to make it a little bit better? And what you would tell them?
That's the 9 and that's the 10. Then you got the 13 and the 12.
Dan, that has been filled.
Great, we need a plan that shows that that's what you're going to do. Jim didn't think it had been.
Pardon?
How can you fill till we haven't built the wall?
The wall was built, the rocks were distributed.
No, you're
No.
confusing.
Mixing things.
No, he's confusing.
You need to come back with a plan that shows that you're going to fill this area. Right now, we just have your stenciling on the plan, and that's not, we need to approve a plan that's complete.
I'm trying to explain what this easement, we have agreed with them. We agreed with them
I
that
think
this easement is to complete the plan as approved by Board of Health. That's number one. And once our system is built, it is approved, James signs off as built,
And then you take care of the rest.
then we take care of, because it
You
is their
understand that?
property.
You gotta
So, but you
build
have a
it.
plan that tells us what you're going to do,
Yeah,
right?
but he's got the plan to build
I
the wall
don't have
first.
that.
You see, this is
We
how
will
construction
prepare it
works.
for them.
Then what is that?
Which was that?
What is that plan that you've been drawing on for us? So
I'm
you
just-
just drew on
I
that
just
plan to show this that
I'm
you're filling it
just
in?
Showing
you
you,
that
yeah.
what we have said to them that that is possible to do,
Mm-hmm.
and we will have them doing it at our cost. They will not pay for it. We will do
You
it.
will do it.
They will give us access to
But-
their lot.
What they like to have is something in the
You're
design.
presenting us with a plan today that
They
said,
didn't ask for it. They signed the agreement. They didn't ask for that, how you gonna do it.
it's in the easement.
Yeah, it is.
So, we would like to see plans that are consistent with the easement. You haven't done that.
Is what that they, see, the agent is asking.
I mean, you've just shown me the plan and said, oh, we have the plan here, but we're going to do this, this, and this. The plan should indicate this, this, and this, not you stenciling up here
should
with a
have
pen.
written that in email he sent me on Thursday, that you are going there and I need this little note. You remember, he sent us this email and I said, okay.
Right, but
And I
you're
sent this-
asking for a grading easement, and you need to show the grading that's in the easement. They can't approve a plan that doesn't show the grading that you're asking for. The grading, whether it
I'm
be
not
on
asking for
your...
any other,
It's in the easement.
but that is after.
After
we
they
have
build the
built.
wall.
I don't care
If you
when
can
you do
explain,
it.
you understand.
I understand it, but they don't understand. So to make them happy,
Well,
if you can do it.
actually,
You
no,
don't
I
understand.
disagree. I fully understand what the intent is in the sequence and order, but I don't think it matters what the sequence
The plan
it's being
comes before the
done.
order of
It-
events.
the
and
ev- the plan needs to be
indicate
done.
What you will do. The order of how you do it is beyond our
It's different.
concern.
So this
But
seems-
the plan is incomplete.
Yeah, this seems like a simple fix to the plan. I'm not understanding the resistance to putting this in the plan.
It
See,
should have been in there in the first place. The
you,
plan you come forward with should be consistent with the easement that you've been granted, and it's not.
if it's in the plan, then you can, oh, I didn't mean to do that. But if you know, like, we don't doubt your word, but the question is, when we approve something, it's got to be done regularly.
But we're not
Then-
going to approve a plan that's not consistent with the easement that's been, requirements of the easement that's been granted.
You have a little, you drawing something that, and then stamp it, and you say, well, this is going to be done. After the wall, we're going to fill in that area on the easement. And then you have no problem. I feel better, but
So I'm less concerned with the order of events, which it seems to be what
Yeah,
you want to
because-
focus on, than I am with making sure the plan's complete and consistent with all the legal
Because
requirements,
the
and it's
fill-
not.
The fill we are going to do, it has nothing to do with the system.
I understand that.
So why
No,
Board
no.
of Health even has to approve that?
No, it does, because we will approve the system based on the easement because of the 3-to-1 breakout that I mentioned before. You don't have
No,
that.
it's not a breakout,
No, follow me here. You have a wall. Why do you have a wall?
because we wanted to restrict the amount of fill.
Now, okay, but
But if we,
the system needed that wall, right? You had to have the wall on the system, and Title V requires a 3-to-1 breakout to get to the end of the
well, the
system,
breakout is over
and then
here.
You can't do it all on your property, so you need us to grant you a variance, right?
Yep.
That's why you're here, correct? Okay?
Yep.
Part of that variance is what we call the easement, and the easement requires a 3-to-1 breakout, because you couldn't do it
No,
all
it's
on...
not a breakout,
not a
don't use the
breakout.
word
It's a
breakout.
slope, it's a slope.
I'm sorry,
The
slope.
breakout is
Right,
contained
right,
by
I'm sorry.
the wall.
Right, slope. But you need that 3-to-1 slope as part of the easement. The easement's attached to the need because you couldn't do it all on your property. You need that easement, correct?
Yeah, and they
Oh,
gave
okay.
us the easement
So
to
we-
do
With
it.
conditions,
cannot
which you're not
grant it.
indicating that you're going to meet.
Right.
What are you in front of
unless-
us here for today? What is the variance you want?
We are required for variance to build exactly the way it is drawn. We're not
Okay,
asking anything
And we're not going to
else.
approve that because exactly the way it was drawn is in conflict with the easement that was granted to you. So you're denied.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. The fact that you had to sit here and fill in to show us what you were going to do to meet the
But that's
provision.
additional work over and above what you're going to approve.
No,
Additional work.
Because we're not going to approve it unless you show that additional work on the plan.
I'd like to offer an opinion here.
That's twice.
Another thing.
I have to agree with him.
He can, listen,
The system is designed, the wall is there to contain the system, so that there won't be breakout.
right.
The easement part of it is between the abutter and him. And that slope has nothing to do with the Title V approval.
That's true.
He needs the easement to, for lack of another term,
Right.
appease the abutter. I think that it would be nice if the Board of Health refused to approve this system until that is drawn the way it's supposed to be. But that's basically an issue between the abutter
And the easement.
and the engineer, and without the Board of Health as backup, it leaves the abutter without much clout to
Bill.
make sure that it's done correctly.
Bill, I would agree with
I don't think
you,
that we have any
except
jurisdiction
it's
over
not
it.
just an agreement between the abutter and the applicant.
No.
It's a recorded deed restriction. It's a legal document.
I
It's not
had
just
no
an
idea
agreement.
it was a deed restriction.
It's right here, essentially. So, as is a recorded deed instruction, and we have plans before us that do not show that deed restriction, I'm uncomfortable approving it until we have completed plans. I understand what you're saying, it's not related directly to the system itself, but it is related to a legal document, which is part of our process.
Is a,
And
is
the
another
wall
way to
is
do
how
it.
close to the abutter's property line? The wall for your septic is how close to the property line of the abutter?
The wall is in the abutter's property line. It is inside, and that's where the easement is.
No, how far is it from the property line?
Just making.
From the property line, we are going in, this is 50, and this is about 20, it's about 22 feet.
Okay.
We're going 22 feet inside. No, less than 22 actually, I'm sorry. This is 25, so it's about 20 feet.
Bill, you get my
20
point,
feet
this is
away.
not just an agreement,
20 feet away from the property line?
it's a legal requirement.
Well, I don't know, when you say property line,
Write down and notarize it.
which is the dividing line of 13 and 10, right?
You don't think
From
so?
there, we are going into 10 for a length of 20 feet. 20 feet long wall is in 10B,
Okay, from 13, correct?
from 13's property line.
Therefore, you are here for an easement,
Yes,
okay? And that's attached to your Title V.
yes,
So you are here before us for a variance.
yes.
We cannot approve a plan unless it's complete. Bottom line.
So the wall is
Exactly how
shown,
it's supposed to be
it is
drawn.
agreed in the easement.
This-
You're missing a
your-
point.
your
You have a legal
easement.
document that says you're supposed to bring this slope to 3-to-1. You have a plan before us which doesn't do this.
Okay, when, the problem is, I don't know whether
It's that simple.
you are, see, the 3-to-1 is going to start after the riprap down,
Yeah?
okay? And that area where we are going to do 3-to-1 does not change what we have asked,
I understand your
Board
point,
of
but you're
Health
not listening. And what the Board of Health is telling you, not what you're telling the Board of Health, is that we have a legal document that requires that easement area to have a 3-to-1. Even though it's outside the system, we're approving it based on that easement. We're uncomfortable, at least some of us are uncomfortable approving this when you have a plan before us which does not comply with the legal easement that you've been granted.
I think what you are understanding from this document that this whole thing would be 3-to-1. It's not.
No, I understand exactly what I'm doing, which is you go back here, and this area you filled in, you said, oh, we're gonna do this 3-to-1. So what I'm questioning is, why didn't you come before us with a plan that showed that and made it consistent with the legal easement you
Well,
obtained?
When we had this plan done and the easement, we had shown this stone wall, and that's the way James approved it. And based on James' approval, we had to obtain the easement.
Okay.
And when we obtained the easement,
The step you neglected was to bring your plan consistent with the easement. Gino, you said you had a suggestion, right?
Well, okay, you specify, okay, on behalf of the Board of Health, right? If you put that on writing, be a notary, that's official, because you already specify what you're gonna do, but you have to write exactly what you said there. And then when the wall is done, you're gonna bring a design here, so they be happy to see it.
Would I be happy
But
with
that's the
you
only
know,
way you can get it.
if
This
he
is
comes
what-
back with a plan
Yeah, I know,
that's
but it's
consistent
gonna
with
take
the
a-
easement?
this is
Gonna
what
take another
I'm
couple
trying to say.
We understand what you're saying, and what I'm telling you is no. What you need to do is come back with a plan that's
Can you
complete.
repeat to me so that I get a feedback, so I explain? to
I've
you?
repeated it again. You have an easement, right?
Yeah.
It has certain specifications on it. Among others, that outside that wall, that you can have a 3-to-1 slope on that area, right? We both understand that, right? You have a plan that you've put before us for approval, which does not show that 3-to-1 slope. You need to come up with a plan that shows that 3-to-1 slope in the area as required in the easement. I don't know how to make it any simpler.
All you have to do is
No, I know
come
what-
up with,
No, what
I
it
know
does,
you know
that
what you
it has
have
to
to
go
do.
to
Let me
James.
say what I have to say,
And James will
please.
take
Please let him
3 weeks.
finish.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If you know what the elevation is at the lot line, where I believe it says that one rock
Yeah,
high wall,
306.
okay?
Yeah.
Give us the elevation there, and the elevation at the top of the wall at the system,
Yeah,
and do the math, you know?
that's what I'm doing, we to just do the
Well,
ramp.
What's
need
the
to show it
difference?
on
What
the
is the
plan.
difference in those two elevations?
Yeah,
What is it? Do you know?
it's 306 and 302. So from 302,
4
we go to
feet.
306.
So it's a 4-foot difference.
Yeah.
Over how many feet?
12 feet,
How many?
12 feet.
12 feet.
Yeah, 1 to 3 slope.
So is that that's it, 1 to 3 slope?
Yeah.
Is it shown on the drawing?
It's not shown because we have shown a 4-foot wall.
Well,
So you need
I
to go back and show it on the drawing. It's a very simple answer.
have to go back and agree with Brett.
You have to show
You know,
it.
what you just said makes perfectly good sense, but if it's not on the drawing, there's no documentation.
Because, see,
We're not doubting what you're saying, but we're not approving what you tell us. We're approving the
so
plan you
you
put in front
doubt
of us.
that we will get the approval and not build the slope for them?
What do you think we're approving here? Your word or the plan you put before us?
No, the plan you,
Then the plan has to show
Then
it.
it has to be on there. I mean,
It's that simple.
And the plan also needs to show variances.
okay, I mean,
Title V requirement.
in literally language, it's okay, but practical way, it is two things, one after the other, like a domino effect.
But there's no reason why the plan can't show
Of
now
course,
what you're
plan can
planning
show
to do.
now, I'm not saying
Okay,
that.
so go back and make the plan show that and come back to us.
I don't doubt for a minute that you're gonna do it the way it's shown.
Yeah,
But if
it
it's not on the
just-
plan, there's no
It just
documentation.
delays the
We're
whole
approving a
process
plan.
by 3-4 weeks.
We're approving a plan. The plan has to be consistent with the easement. It's kind of that simple. And has to show the
Because they're
requirements. of the
both legal
100%.
documents, they can't conflict. They're both legal documents, they both have to give the same message.
The solution is very simple.
Okay.
We have a butters here. Did you folks have questions or?
We are here, do you want to go first?
10B.
We don't have questions, we just wanted to.
Okay, just here to make sure everything's.
So my only thing was to be here if there was any impacts to my property, which abuts
some
No,
of the property,
nothing.
some of the things they're developing, so it was just really to come down.
Okay,
and-
but you're comfortable with everything you've heard, so.
As long as it's not touching my property, sure.
Okay.
If it is, then I might have some objections.
Thank
All
you.
right, so we'll see you again. Thank you.
So it would be, we won't have the continuation date now on this. Or-
December 1st is the next meeting.
December 1st or December 15th, whichever.
So, I have to submit this plan as soon as possible to James, right?
Yeah.
Just send it over to James. And then,
I think I moved quickly on it. It's a relatively minor change,
Yeah.
but it does need to be indicated
No,
on
that's not-
what we approve.
That's fine.
And you need to put all variances on the plan.
They're on there. He did add those.
On one
Yeah.
Yeah,
side,
the
didn't
note,
have
we
it.
wrote that.
You did write it in? Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
they
Okay, good.
called me, if they would have said this, I would have done that too. They didn't ask me.
Yeah.
Your material.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, the stuff I,
What's the continuation date? Third,
December 1st.
first?
It's another month.
the Tuesday, the same time. We'll know the time.
7:15.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Smart,
much.
should roll it down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just sign in book, Sean?
Is that all you need?
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's clear as mud. Now, you point to where the
Now?
variances
Yeah, you
are
can
on
sign
that plan. I didn't get them electronically. I didn't see where the variances were on that.
Necessary over here.
Yeah, but does it say? There's
No,
va-
it can't. It doesn't have the,
It should, Title V requires that you list out and write clear as day, variances requested.
their variances. Oh, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's-
Yep.
They've got to have it. It's like the stamp, it's like all this stuff on the left side, or the right side. He also needs to have, and he said he did, and you said he did, and I was like,
No, I
oh,
didn't say he
okay.
did.
Somebody said he did, and,
Shelley said.
Shelley said he did, but he's got multiple documents here.
yeah, and I don't have an up-to-date one,
Yeah, so it'll be
obviously.
December 1st,
I just-
7:15 will be the next.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Shelley,
Yes.
Ann's questioning whether the variants are listed on the plans. Can you
I
make
didn't
sure
see.
he knows they are, they need to be?
Yes, they are listed on the plans.
Is it December?
December 1st,
So
7:15.
you're skipping a week? or-
Because of Thanksgiving, there wasn't going to be a quorum, so it'll be the following
Okay.
week after Thanksgiving.
All right. Is there anything else I need to know besides bleeding to death?
Well, this is just from my perspective, and I don't know if the board agrees, but it would be really helpful if these lot lines and the easement lines were shown bolder so that it could really stick out where the lot line is and where the easement is, because that's part of the difficulty in these abutters trying to read these plans, is it doesn't show the whole thing.
The butters are very confused, so if you could show that more clearly, it'd
So if
help.
these lot lines were bolder and the whole easement's shown, it would be much easier for everybody to understand.
But you do understand, we're approving a plan. The plan
You don't have to
has to be
explain it.
complete.
I followed the conversation, so.
If this whole plan view was shifted up, so this whole easement area could
You
show,
could see it separately.
and the lines were bolder so that it sticks out, because it's very hard to see those lot lines.
Yeah,
And we had people questioning where's my property in this, and
I know.
Well, we have questions too about it, so. it
The
just
work
needs
is
to be-
done, though. It's already done. so,
What work? Sorry?
yeah. The work is, if you went out there, you would see the wall or whatever, you would see it all graded off.
So he's completed the wall and the easement?
I believe that
He's
finished
completed-
today.
He's completed the septic
so you've
system?
done the work before we
No,
approved
no,
it, is what
no,
you're telling
no,
us?
no, not the septic system.
Just the wall,
Just the wall and the grade.
right.
No,
Okay.
We don't do the septic system
You know what,
until
I'm
we
gonna pretend you
send.
didn't say that. You need to have a good conversation with him, because this is getting a little, no.
What, I did something wrong?
Because if the wall is
No.
4 feet or higher, it needs a building permit too.
This is what we approve. We approve this, and then you can go and do that. That's why we were pulling him back, saying, look, you gotta show what you're gonna do. You don't go and do and then come in here and ask for a variance.
And you run the risk of, if you do that, among other things, I mean, Shelley's right, you need a building permit for any wall over 4 feet, which I don't believe you have. Maybe you do, I don't know.
Well,
But you also run the risk of, aside from us taking action on this, you run the risk of us not approving it, and then you put a lot of work into a plan that hasn't been approved.
and I believe we have to approve this before they can go do that wall with the building, so.
I got the message.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have discussion on 60 Dahlia Drive, relative to the number of bedrooms. Is that on for tonight?
Yeah, no, they're gonna come at a later date. They weren't
Okay,
available
great.
to come in.
All right, then I'll open the hearing for 144 Goldsmith Street. Sure, plan complete.
This be less.
For the septic system, right? Well,
that would-
Loan, and the state.
An Etch-a-Sketch.
What my kid would do.
How you doing, Jonathan Markey?
How are you?
I am good. Thank you. These are the microphones.
Yep.
Excuse me, I was wrong. There's walks around property line to separate the property.
Okay.
I didn't build that 4 foot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As far as you know. For the record.
Yeah, take a ride over.
Yeah.
State, all right? For the
Okay.
septic
Good
system.
evening, Jonathan Markey from Markey and Rosen. So we have an existing 3-bedroom dwelling on Goldsmith Street. There's a system out back that's located, it's this, there's 2 rectangles there, so it's, yeah, you got it. So that's the existing system. The existing system is in failure due to groundwater. So the groundwater elevation's a little bit higher. If you look at the neighboring lot, you can see these contours. This is actually the neighboring septic system. So, you know, we have, you know, seasonal high groundwater in the area, which is typical of this area. So we did a first design with a 4-foot groundwater offset, and I had grading over the property lines, and I would have needed barriers and all sorts of things. I spoke with Jim about it. Jim said, you know, in this situation where it's a narrow lot, he recommended asking for the variance for the 3-foot groundwater offset. He said he would support it, and it would keep the grading a lot better on our lot. So I went back and I redesigned it with the 3-foot groundwater offset. So the 2 variances that I'm requesting tonight are a local upgrade approval for a 3-foot groundwater offset and fill to the property line less than 10 feet. There is no increase in flow. It is an existing 3-bedroom. It's to remain 3-bedroom. Whether I went with 3 or 4-foot groundwater offset, I still need a pump system. So it is a pump system either way. The variance is really there to eliminate grading all the way and over the property line or introducing impervious barriers.
Okay.
All right, Jim, the existing sewage disposal system of this house is in the water table and therefore in failure. Soil testing was completed and the design for the replacement system reviewed by this office. Site has a number of obstacles to designing a system in full compliance with Title V and your regulations, small lot size, high seasonal water table, and high perk rate. The reduction of groundwater offset will minimize the fill needed, and the fill should not have an adverse effect on the butter. I don't have a problem with the request since the area is served by town water.
What system are you going to put in?
It's going to be a standard stone trench, stone bed. So it will be 6-inch stone bed with the 4-inch leaching lines. And I think there's 5 lines for this one. Can you count those?
Dotted lines, right, 5.
So it'll be pipe and
Yeah,
stone?
5. Yes, pipe and stone.
Okay. Right.
Any questions, discussion?
Septic tank is 10 feet from the slab base?
Yes.
It is, okay.
Yep.
And then 20 feet off to this. Okay. I have no questions.
Bill?
None for me. Is a stamp over there?
Yes.
Got no problem.
Barring any further discussion, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the plan for 144 Goldsmith Street dated 9/4/15 with variances of local upgrade approval, section 15405-1H, 4 feet groundwater reduction to 3 foot, and local regulation 27, which is within 10 feet of the property line.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, because we already built it. It's already,
Hey, you better get out of here quick. Don't rub it in, will you? We got enough trouble without you being here.
So Jonathan, on that other one, the next meeting will be December 1st.
Okay.
So,
I think I'll have 3 for that night.
okay,
I'll get you all the requests.
the easy ones, 10 minutes enough?
Yeah, they should
funny.
be. quick.
So do 7:30, 40, 50.
Very calmly said it, too.
All
right, thank
Have
you.
a good night.
Take it easy.
I'm going to check that one out, John. I'm going to be out at 144 Goldsmith tomorrow.
Any further business?
I better have them backfilled then.
So we have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, no, hang on. How do we want to handle the
What do you got, more?
gifts for
One
the
more,
holidays? Do you want
I think we can do that outside the board
Do you
meeting.
want- do you want-
And-
We're not supposed to be emailing them.
I know,
Well,
but I
those are
think
the
we can
ones that
close
had
the meeting
hearings,
before we
so
discuss the
you
holiday.
sign them afterwards.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Oh, go ahead. I thought there wasn't a motion. I thought you wanted
Gino
a
has made
motion.
made a motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
3 to 4 beer, you need one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You gotta wait till there's more rice to swing.
Right, now.